Hello my student, yes, it's me again, Madam Gracious Kanzieni from Educare Tanzania. We are proceeding, my student, with our chemistry series sessions, and my Form 2 student, we are proceeding with the series of our topic, which is bonding, chemical formula, and nomenclature. And my student, in the previous session series, we have covered on the concept of bonding, we have covered on the concept of valence, we have covered also in the concept of radical oxidation state, but also the concept of chemical formulas, whereby we have learned about empirical formula, structure formula, molecular formula, and so forth. But also we try to start the concept of nomenclature of binary inorganic compounds, whereby we look on the binary ionic compound. So today, my student, we are going to see on the another category of this binary inorganic compounds, which is covalent compounds. I mean binary covalent compounds. And welcome to start our session today. The binary covalent compound, here we are going to see the concept of valence, but in the nomenclature. Remember that our subtopic is all about the nomenclature of this binary compound, but this binary inorganic compound, but the concept is all about covalent. The covalent. And in the previous session tuliona kuhusiana na binary compound, tuliona kuhusiana na covalent kwenye series zilizopita, lakini leo tunaenda kuona kwamba hizi binary covalent compound, how do mechanism of nomenclature, how do we employ nomenclature to these covalent compounds. Now, welcome. Covalent compounds are formed between two nanometal elements. Hii hapa ni simple meaning of this covalent compound, kwamba tukiongelea covalent compound tunaongelea zile compounds zote ambazo zinakuwa formed with the same metal, and this metal is nanometals. Kwa hiyo nanometals zina share or zina combine together so as to form this binary covalent compound. This compound are named different from ionic compounds, kwamba zenyewe zinakuwa named, zinakuwa assigned the names tofauti na tulivyoona kwenye ionic binary compounds. The name of atom are presented by prefixes as shown in the table below, kwamba hii yenyewe hapa tu consider suffix. Kule kwenye ionic compound tuko tuna consider the suffix of the nanometal of the second part of our formula, lakini hapa tunakwenda kuconsider the prefix, kiambishi awali. Hapa tuendi kuangalia kiambishi tamati, tunaenda kuconsider at the beginning, ambapo tunaenda kurepresent au kupresent these prefixes kulingana na the way ambavyo tutaenda kuzisoma hizi prefixes, kwamba kama ni 1 ni 2 ni 3 and 4 so forth, inakuwa na prefix gani kwenye compound au kwenye certain element. Now you can see this is the number, this is the prefix, this is number, this is the prefix. This is just a table, simple table which demonstrates these prefixes used in naming those covalent binary compounds. For instance, if you have 1, the element is made up of number 1, kwamba your elements combine to each other, lakini maybe you have 2 carbon at the same time, you have 1 oxygen. So how are you going to name this compound? So you're considering these numbers, is where you can provide these prefixes names. Once you have 1, we are going to have mono, and when you have 2, you're going to have di. So your element will be di. You proceed with your element. Tutakuja kuona steps. 3, you are writing tri. 4, you are writing tetra. 5 is pent. Pent means that 5, penta. And 6, we are going to have hexa. 7, we are going to have hepta. 8, we are going to have octa. And 9, we are going to have nona. Also the 10, we are going to have deca. So these are the prefixes used during assigning the name of covalent binary compound. My student, it is easy to master it. Mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa, hepta, octa, nona, deca. It's very simple and it's not difficult or it's not complicated for you. So as you can, and you can't able, you cannot able to name those covalent compounds. So it's very easy. It's very easy for you. Once you master it, inakuwa ni rahisi sana kwako wewe ku name zile binary covalent compound. Now, the following are steps to be considered when naming binary covalent compound. Kwamba okay, tumeona zile prefixes ambazo zinatumika katika kuname hizi binary covalent compound, lakini kuna step za kufollow ili kuweza kuname hizi binary covalent compound. The first step is give the name of the first element, and the same to the ionic binary compound. Kwamba cha kwanza tunatoa the name of the first element, jina la element ya kwanza. After giving the name of the first element, then give the name of the second element with the ending changed to IDE. You see? So, baada ya ku give the name of the first element, kinachofuata tunatoa name of the second part of our formula, ambayo actually itakuwa ni non-metal, another non-metal. So, na tuhakikishe kwamba at the end kwenye suffix imeishia na nini? IDE. That is second step. But if more than one compound is possible between the two elements, give prefixes to indicate the number of atoms of each element. Here is where we are starting to consider those prefixes. Kwamba kama element is made up of two or more molecules, kwamba unaona pale kuna 2 molecules of oxygen, so is where we start to consider our prefixes. Ina maana pale tutaanza kuconsider zile mono, di, tri, tetra, hexa, penta and so on. For example, give the name for this one. Hii hapa umepewa ni compound yako. So the answer is going to be as follows. Since there is one phosphorus atom, as you see in your compound here, umepewa phosphorus chloride, kwamba kuna 1 phosphorus na kuna 3 molecules of chlorine. So what are you going to do? The first is, since there is 1 phosphorus atom, use it as the first part of the name. Kwamba ile phosphorus inakuwa kama ndo the first part of your element. And there are 3 chlorine atoms, kwamba zile atoms za chlorine zipo 3. So, and this will be the second part of your formula. So use tri in front of chlorine, kwamba kabla hujaandika chlorine unatumia sasa zile prefixes ambayo tunatumia tri kwa sababu zipo 3. Then you drop the I and E in chlorine and replace with IDE, kwamba tunaitoa ile I N E afu tuna replace with the IDE katika chlorine ambayo ni ile second part, ni ile our last element or compound. The name is phosphorus trichloride. So you see, tumeona kwamba kulikuwa na phosphorus moja so kwenye first part au first element, lakini kwenye second element tulikuwa kwamba tumeona kwamba atoms zilikuwa 3 na tumetumia zile prefixes, tumetumia zile prefixes tri. Na vile vile tumeconsider our steps ambayo anasema katika second part hakikisha umereplace I N E with IDE, as you can see. Kwa hiyo the name of your compound now is phosphorus trichloride. Is very quite different from ionic. Ionic tulikuwa hatuna hizi prefixes kwamba tri, mono, di, tetra, tulikuwa hatuna kabisa, lakini kwenye covalent tuna indicate these prefixes. Lakini step nyingine zinakuwa ni sawa kwa sababu kwenye ionic covalent tuliona kwamba tuna raise the first element, then second element, na tuna consider yeye ku remove those some of letters, tunazidrop, tuna add I, D, E, the same. Ile ilikuwa ni sawa, lakini kinachoongezeka huku kwenye covalent ni hizi prefixes. So now another example, what is the name for nitrogen oxide? We have 2 molecules of nitrogen. I mean 2 atoms of nitrogen. But also we have 4 atoms of oxygen. So we are proceeding with we are following our steps. The first, use the prefix di in front of nitrogen. Since there are 2 atoms. Kwa sababu kuna 2 atoms of nitrogen, therefore we are going to consider those prefixes. Kwa hiyo tutatumia di. Kwa sababu ziko mbili. Tuliona kwamba mbili kule tuna their prefix name inakuwa ni di. Kwa hiyo hapa tutatumia di. Kwa hiyo baada ya kuandika nitrogen, kabla tujaandika nitrogen, tunaanza kuandika di, then ndio inafuata nitrogen. Lakini the second step is use the prefix theta in front of the oxygen, since there is 4 oxygen atoms. Kwamba kwa sababu kuna 4 oxygen atom kwenye hii compound yetu hapa. So kabla ya kuandika oxygen tunaanza kuandika tetra. So the tetra is where the other procedures follow, ambapo hapa sasa tunaanza tena kuconsider the concept of at the end of our compound we are going to drop some of letters and adding IDE. So drop YGEN in the oxygen and replace with IDE. So baada ya kuconsider the first element is made up of 2 atoms, consider prefixes ambayo ni di, but then baada ya kuona kwamba our second element is made up of 4 atoms, consider zile prefixes ambayo tumeadi tetra, lakini we have to consider our steps, ambapo katika at the end of our second part of our formula tunakwenda ku drop some of the elements na kuadi the element of IDE. So here in oxygen drop hii YGEN letters, tumeadi this one, and then the name is dinitrogen tetraoxide, simple like that. So that is how we name the covalent binary compounds. Consider the table given the formula and the names. So a binary covalent compounds. This is some of the covalent binary compounds. So the formula, this is the formula, this is name. We are given the carbon dioxide. This is carbon dioxide. So how can you name, or what are the names of this compound? I hope once you follow those steps, for instance here the name is carbon dioxide, means that we have only 1 atom of carbon, so it will be the first part of our element, and the second one we have 2 atoms of oxygen. So we are going to consider those prefixes names, and we are going to consider the end of our element, where we are going to remove some of letters and replace with IDE. So you can see here the oxygen it changed to dioxide. Why? To consider the prefixes of this, and to consider addition or replacement of letters with IDE. So we are going to have carbon dioxide. The same apply to this one, carbon monoxide. It will be this one formula, it will be carbon monoxide. This formula we are going to be dinitrogen pentaoxide. This formula we are going to have hydrogen chloride, and this one we are going to have nitrogen monoxide, and so forth. So my students, the very important things is considering those prefixes and the suffixes during naming your element. That is all about how you can name, or that is all about the nomenclature of covalent binary compounds. But now let us see the concept of chemical names of chemical substance, which is our last subtopic of our topic of bonding, chemical formula, and nomenclature. The chemical name